Coach, congratulations on the win and qualifying for the semi-finals and finishing on top of the log. What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, the log's been a yo-yo, hasn't it, for the last two weeks? I think we went into last week with the Cheetahs being on top, and now they've got to fight out to try and even make the semis. You know, the game almost didn't start, so there are a whole variety of things that have sort of influenced the log. So we're really happy for that, and a home semi-final makes a hell of a difference. You know, so hopefully we can challenge one or two people in Joburg to just come out in more numbers and come and support.
In the first half, the Lions struggled a little bit to get going, ending on 15-7 at halftime. What was your thoughts about that first half?
Yeah, I think one, the Griquas are a good team. Peter Berg I've said it many times. I said it in the pre-presser too. I think they were organised. They did some good homework. We made one or two errors, particularly at the line-out, even though we knew it was coming. So we'll have to sharpen up on that. And then that's a team who 5 on the bounce. So I think they haven't lost since round 1 of the Currie Cup. So, you know, deserve it, at least coming into this weekend, deserve it top of the lot. So they're not mugs, they're a really good team.
Okay, and having qualified for the semi-finals at the moment, we don't know if we're going to play the Pumas or the Cheetahs. Is there any preference for you?
No. I don't think there's a preference per se. But by the look of things, looking what's happening in Pretoria, 10-1 will probably play the Pumas. So they were quite disappointed yesterday, but they probably, you know, will take the chance of being in the semi, so that they'll come here and put out a better performance than what they did last night.
Looking at the individual performances, Richard Creel looked like he did a little bit better at inside centre today than last week.
Yeah, he's getting there. I think it's obviously a bit of a bold move from us. As I explained last week, we're looking for something different from him. We know what we have in Rainey, in Renat Jonker. We know what we have in Bronson Mills. So the more game time we can give him before the start of the URCs, the better. He's learning. It's a tough learning curve to learn against. To learn against the Bulls last week. Learn against the Griquas this week. Nombo Zulinda was a good guy. Good rugby player. So yeah, Rich is there, and all we can do is just for him to get time in the saddle, and I think he'll be better. And as you saw, our attack, a bit more fluid today than what it was last week. We got the ball a little bit to the edges. Our wings touched the ball a whole lot more than what they did last week. So he's getting better, and with more critique and criticism and reflection, I think he'll get better.
Angelo Davids was a powerhouse there on the wing today, deservedly named man of the match.
Yeah, he's getting, again, he's shedding 1 or 2 kilograms. He's getting into game, like I said at the start of the Currie Cup. He hadn't played. Part of our job in the Currie Cup was to get guys who hadn't played a long time into some form. I think Angelo hadn't played, he played like 2 games almost in a year and a half. So he's a guy who's starting to hit his straps a little bit. So at least in 3 weeks' time, on the 26th of September, he'll be a real candidate to be selected for the UFC group. Yeah, well, obviously you have to have a look at the injuries and stuff. Yeah. There'll be 1 or 2 guys who are coming back. Nachel will is available for selection. Those type of guys. So we've also got to see how we balance their reintegration into the team. Makes for a good headache. 1 or 2 guys have gone long in the tooth, guys like Jared Keynes. So maybe they due a break. But having said that, it is a semi-final, so we've got to try and, put out the best that we can and see if we can, get over the line against the Pumas.
Coach, for you, a full day of coaching again, and congratulations again. But how is it for you, these past 2 weeks in particular, trying to wrap up the Currie Cup and get into playoff contention, and with being with the juniors and putting in performances? How is that for you as a coach?
Yeah, good day for the franchise again. 19 and juniors versus the Leopards did well. Obviously, Currie Cup has got a nice result. It's been good. It's reinvigorating. We've drawn up a specific organogram so that we can get to every team. It's obviously coming to the business end now, so the juniors have got province this week, and as we all know, 10-1 the seniors will have the Pumas. So it's good. It's reinvigorating, and it's we've got a job to do, so we must get stuck in. But yeah, it is a long day.
You've got your seniors coming in now, but you've got a good view of the entire pipeline. How comfortable, how happy are you with development that's coming through the ranks and filling up into the URC team eventually?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, Ashim Pete again, he gets another bite, another 15 minutes. So all of that makes a difference to him. All of a sudden we'll have Ashim, Leighton Horn, and Nico Steyn to choose from. If Krapi comes down from the Springboks, we'll have those 4 guys to choose from. Then we can also be like other franchises and start rotating a whole lot more, EPCR, URC, that type of stuff to keep the guys fresh, fresher for a long time, and that's the whole purpose. Various things comes getting games on his belt. He only played 4 URC games last year. He's now playing, he's on his 7th or 6th Currie Cup game. So by the time, again, from a big picture point of view, it's good. Obviously 1 or 2 positions we've got to sharpen up on, but we go forward.
And then just the combination of Nico Steyn and Chris Smith, how's that? I mean, they got going really well today.
Yeah, Nico's been going well. Bar 1 or 2 subpar performance from him early in the season, he's been really going well. Chris Smith is classy, so he's finding his way at the Lions. In fact, he was frustrated about today, but we thought he went to right. So, the more again he plays, the more time he gets. I mean, I think he got another 62 today. So, hopefully, again, by the time the final comes, he's really sharp. And then secondly, he'll grow into leading the attack of the Lions. But again, it's remember he's coming from France, was it the Bulls? So contrasting attack ways of attack, and we've put a hell of a lot of responsibility on him to lead it. So he's got to lead and still find himself in the system. So I think in one or two games he'll be good to go for the franchise.
And just defensively, 7 keeping Griquas to 7 points. Just what are your thoughts on the boys' performance just to shut them out?
Yeah, we actually said now to the group that we more than anything we showed that we cared a bit on defense. So that's good. It's not to say it's not without error. If you look at their first try, just lack of concentration. But we can't complain too much if we keep a team like the Griquas who went into the game today as the highest try scorers in the competition. So there's a lot to be said for that from the group. So well done to them.
Coach, now that you find yourself back in the business end of this tournament, and looking at the way that it was sort of snatched away from your hands in the last seconds of the previous campaign, does that make it, do you have an extra motivation to go all the way this time around, looking at the semi-final and the potential final that you will play going forward?
Yeah, I think obviously, that's in the back of your mind, but we've got to get through the semi first. I said this time last year, I said here, we tried to talk it down. We went 14-0 down against the Cheetahs in the first, 20 minutes in the semi-final. So, we must, put our feet firmly on the ground, wind our necks in, and try and turn out another performance next week.
It was basically what I wanted to know. Last year we was on top of the mark.
Just a question from me about the delayed start. Did that affect the team in any way?
Yeah, those things are challenging. I mean, in fact, I 2 years ago we went to the Cheetahs with a delayed start, and it was an absolute nightmare for us. But I must commend the match officials and the match managers. I thought and the referee. I thought the comms were really good this time around, just in terms of letting us know all the permutations. And we were really clear as to how we can prep the guys in terms of the warm-up, what would happen if the lightning stuck around and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think because there was so much clarity, it allowed us to be a lot more calm, as opposed to trying to search for answers the whole time. So, I think we can doff our hats up to the officials. But of course, there's a pre-game and you wind yourself up to bring yourself down, to pull yourself up again is a challenge for anyone. Whether it's us, the Griquas, match officials, even the fans. I mean, if you're sitting in a stand with a beer and you're hoping the game to start, but sheer at the end of that beer, of course it's a downer. So yeah, and thankfully we scored 1 or 2 tries to get full out Currie Cup.
Everybody happy? Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen.